G'day, welcome back to the channel. On this episode, I'm going to show you how to install an MED timing cover to your Classic Mini. So on this episode, I actually have COVID, so we are in day 2 of lockdown. So luckily everyone watching this video is going to be safe at home. So all we need to do now to install this is make sure that the timing is done on the car and we fit a new gasket between this outside cover plate and the plate at the back of the block. Now MED do sell backing plates. So here's another one I have right here. I bought this for a mate. He's also going to do the same conversion, so we're going to do that on his car later down the track. Now I was going to upgrade the timing chain and get a vernier style timing chain assembly like we did on the 1275 A+ engine in the description above. Now I decided not to until we pull the engine out next time. So when I pull it out, we're going to do a heap of things. I want to try and upgrade the diff, maybe even upgrade the gearbox to straight cut and give it a refurb, a bit of paint, all that sort of stuff. So when we pull it out, we're going to do it then. Now my mate Paul Jeffries in the UK said that it's best to do it when the engine's out of the car. Otherwise, if you do it while it's in there, it's going to be super hard and difficult. You can do it, but it's just going to be really difficult to be able to do with it in there. So next time the engine's out, we'll do that. But let's get on to fitting this. Alright, so with the timing plate, all you need is just a standard style gasket to be able to make it work. All we're going to do is just grab a little bit of our sealant. We're going to run it around the edge just on here. We're going to place the seal on, and then we're going to place another bead of sealant around the outside. So essentially you want to make sure that both sides of the gasket have sealant on there, then you can fit it to the timing case. Now because I've upgraded the timing plate at the back, all we need to do is just slide it straight on. It's already got a couple of studs around the outside. Line it all up, put all in the new bolts, tighten up the nuts. Once we've torqued everything up, we can then put the crank pulley on, put some oil in it, start it, make sure it doesn't leak. Alright, so put the sealant on the bottom part of the plate. I've put the gasket on and put some sealant on the top, so now to install it in the car. Alright, before we install it, give it a quick clean. Grab the new plate and fit it on. Alright, so it turns out you don't need this plate, so get rid of that first and then you can fit it. So we just run into a dilemma. The dilemma we have now is that I've just put one of these washers on between the plate and the cover. As you can see, there isn't a lot of room whatsoever for me to put the nuts on and use the washers. So I may just have to run it without using the spacer washers here and just run the nuts on the cover. So let's see if that'll actually tighten up and if there'll be actually any grip on there as well. Wow, they really don't give you a lot of length on these studs at the back. So look, if you're going to be doing this, make sure that you buy the right plate. The plate that I bought behind for the specialist components might only be suitable for a standard cover, not for the upgraded thicker cover from MED. If you're going to be buying them, try and get one from MED, both the backing plate and the cover plate itself. Now I do have a spare backing plate over there from MED, but that's for my mate who I bought it for. So I'll see how this goes, see if this actually tightens up, and if it does, we might just leave it. And if not, then I'm going to have to buy another plate from MED. So now that everything's tight, we can now put the harmonic balancer on, put the bolt in, tighten it up, put some oil in it, put a new filter on it, start it up and make sure that it doesn't leak. All right, so what I've done is just put oil in it and a filter. We're going to leave all the stuff, all the accessories just off the side down here, so we don't have to worry about the belt, the water pump, the coolant pipes, anything like that. It should just be right to start and run like this. We just want to make sure that there's no leaks at all coming from this timing cover that we just fitted. Alright, so as you just saw, we started up. It doesn't appear to be any oil leaks. We do just have to give it a little bit of a clean underneath just to make sure that everything is fine. Once it's all Mickey Mouse, we can then start putting it all back together. Sometimes oil leaks like this, you really need to thoroughly clean it, take it for a good long drive and re-inspect it after several hundred kilometers. So in our case, what we'll do is do the clean down now. We still got a heap of stuff we need to do. We're going to put it mostly back together depending on what else we need to replace. Actually, while that I think of it, we got some new engine mounts. The old ones are a little bit shoddy. When I jump on and off the clutch doing some hectic skids, they move around a little bit. So we're going to replace both of these on both sides. There's also some exhaust mount bushes we need to do, so that'll be on the next episode. So I'll continue on with this. Next episode, we'll jump under the car and start doing some exhaust stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay COVID safe. Don't get the Rona, and if you do, be like me, stay at home, record a heap of videos, and have fun with it. See you next video. Now, just before I go, I just want to quickly talk about engine mounts. So they are a very easily accessible thing to buy, but also not the easiest thing to change on a classic Mini. If you are doing any sort of engine work, for the price in which you pay for standard ones, I think they're about 13 bucks Australian price, 25 for upgraded ones. You might as well just change them while you're here. So it is quite simple. They are a rubber bush, so remember that if your car has 2 engine mounts and maybe 1 steady bar or 2 steady bars, depending on what sort of setup it is going to affect the way that it drives. So once one component starts to wear, all the other components, regardless whether it is 1 engine mount, 2 engine mounts, more steady bars, bushes, whatever it may be, it's going to impact the drivability of the engine and also how much movement you're going to get through it as well. So while you get everything apart, why not just go through and upgrade all the bushes, regardless whether they're going to be polyurethane because you want a bit stiffer feel, or if you're just going to replace them with the standard rubber bush. So a really cheap and easy thing to get. You probably spend about 100 bucks in bushes. You know, it does take a little bit of time to replace them all, but it is worthwhile doing. So if you have any sort of issues changing gears, whether you are starting the engine and it vibrates heaps, you get a lot of knocking sort of noises, the bushes are a really easy place to start. If it's not in your engine, could be somewhere else down the track. So enjoy, guys. I'll put these in and we'll see you next episode.